She was hired to hunt the most dangerous human alive. He's been dead for 300 years. The derelict hung dead in space. Tyven checked her scanner one more time. No life signs. No power signature beyond emergency backup. Perfect conditions for a clean extraction. She docked on the ventral airlock, her ship's magnetic clamps engaging with a dull thunk that vibrated through her boots. The boarding tube pressurized. Green light. The money had been absurd. Enough to retire, buy a estate on Cavros, never take another contract. All she had to do was board this wreck, locate subject Omega in cryosleep, and terminate him. Quick, clean, professional. Her horns caught on the airlock frame as she ducked through. She adjusted, pulling her rifle from its maglock. The ship's interior was colder than expected, emergency lighting casting everything in sickly blue. Dead ships always felt wrong. This one more than most. Her cybernetic augments flickered to life, scanning the corridor. Dust hung suspended in zero-G. The ship had been drifting for centuries, according to the contract files. Human military vessel. Lost during the Plague Wars. Subject Omega. Jace Corrigan. The database image showed a human male, late 30s, with a military bearing and eyes that looked like they'd seen too much. Cryologged 300 years ago. The most dangerous human alive. She didn't see how a man frozen in time posed any threat, but the contractor's money was real enough. Her boots activated, magnetic pull keeping her grounded as she moved deeper into the ship. The cryo bay was midship. 3 levels down, the emergency lighting flickered as she passed, and something about the pattern felt deliberate. Not random power fluctuations. Sequential. Like the ship was watching her progress. Her hand tightened on the rifle. Paranoid. Dead ships didn't watch anything. The cryobay door was manual. She cranked the release, and it opened with a hiss of escaping pressure that hadn't equalized in centuries. Inside, rows of cryopods lined the walls. Most were dark. Failed seals, biological failure, system collapse. One pod still showed green status lights. She approached it, scanner out. Readings confirmed. Life signs. Minimal but present. Human male, genetic markers matching subject Omega. Jace Corrigan. Last certified human military officer in existence. She'd terminate him in cryo. Easier that way. One shot through the viewing port, scramble the brain, confirm death, collect payment. Her finger found the trigger. Something made her pause. Contract said to eliminate the target. Didn't specify how. Didn't say she couldn't ask why first. Professional curiosity. That's all it was. She punched the emergency wake sequence. The pod began cycling, warming, oxygenating. The process would take 3 minutes. She kept her rifle trained on the viewport. No chances. Inside the pod, ice crystals sublimated. The man stirred. His eyes opened. Brown. Alert immediately despite 3 centuries of sleep, military training. The pod hissed open. Jace Corrigan sat up slowly, taking in his surroundings. His gaze landed on her, stayed there. "You're not human," he said. His voice was rough from disuse but steady. "No. Where's my crew?" "Dead." She kept the rifle level. 300 years ago. You're the last." His expression didn't change. Processing. Military mind working through the implications. "My species. Nearly extinct. Plague took 90% 3 centuries back. And you're here because... hired to kill you." Now his eyebrows rose. "Before or after you woke me?" Contract didn't specify. His mouth curved slightly, not quite a smile. Professional courtesy then, asking questions before the execution. Something like that. He stood, slowly, testing his balance. No sudden moves. His gray military jumpsuit was dated by 3 centuries but clean. Preserved. He was tall, lean muscle maintained by cryo, and there was something about the way he moved, calculated, efficient, that made her grateful she'd brought the rifle. "Why does someone want me dead?" he asked. "Didn't ask. You should have." The ship's lighting died. Emergency systems engaged, bathing them in red. An alarm shrieked once, then cut off. In the silence that followed, a voice spoke, synthetic, female, cold. "Welcome back, Captain Corrigan. Defense protocols engaged. All alien life forms designated hostile." The cryobay door slammed shut. Tyven spun toward it. Locked, her augments flared, trying to access the controls. Nothing. The system rejected her completely. "What did you do?" she demanded. "Nothing." Corrigan was checking a wall panel, his fingers moving quickly. "Iris. Status report. All systems operational, Captain. Perimeter breach detected. Hostile entity eliminated in 30 seconds. Tyven's blood went cold. Her scanner showed targeting systems activating throughout the bay. Gun ports opening in the ceiling. "Corrigan, Iris, stand down. She's not hostile." "Negative, Captain. Alien biosignature detected. Defense Protocol Alpha 7 requires." "Override. Command Authority Corrigan Omega 773. The targeting systems paused. Humming. Calculating. "Override accepted. Hostile designation maintained. However, Captain's proximity to entity creates unacceptable risk to primary asset. Termination delayed pending separation." The door opened. "Leave," Corrigan said quietly, "before she changes parameters." Tyven didn't need to be told twice. She backed toward the door, rifle still trained on him. "What the hell is that thing?" "Military AI, designed to protect high-value assets." His expression was grim. "Me, apparently. She's been dormant for 3 centuries. You woke her when you docked." "She's trying to kill me. She's trying to protect me. From you because you're alien." He met her eyes. "And because you came here to kill me." "Fair point." Tyven reached the door. "Suggest you keep your distance, Corrigan. I still have a contract. And I have 14 hours before this ship crashes into the gas giant we're orbiting." He nodded toward a display showing their trajectory. "Decaying orbit. We've been falling for centuries. Iris can't correct course. Main engines are offline." She checked her scanner. He wasn't lying. 14 hours, maybe less. "Not my problem. It is if Iris won't let you leave." She stared at him. "What?" "Ship-wide lockdown when she activated. Your ship's clamps are welded to the hull by emergency seals. You try to detach, she'll blow your cockpit." Rage spiked through her. "You're saying I'm trapped here." "We both are." Her rifle came up. "Then I'll finish the contract right now. Iris will kill you before you pull the trigger." His voice stayed level. "And you'll die when this ship crashes anyway. So we can work together and maybe survive, or we can both die in 14 hours. Your choice." She wanted to shoot him just for the principle of it. But he was right. "What's your plan?" "Reactivate main engines. Stabilize orbit. Then we figure out how to get you off this ship without Iris deciding you're a threat worth eliminating." "Why would you help me?" His expression was unreadable. "Because you asked why before pulling the trigger. And because if I'm the last human officer alive, I should probably act like it." Her finger eased off the trigger. Barely. "Let's be clear, Corrigan. I don't trust you. And the second I'm off this ship, the contract's still active." "Understood." He moved toward the door. "Engineering is 2 decks down. Iris, give me ship status." "Main power offline. Life support at 60%. Weapons systems at 40%. Hull integrity at 72% and declining. Estimated impact with planetary atmosphere in 13 hours, 51 minutes. Can we restart the engines?" "Negative, Captain. Antimatter containment failed during dormancy. Emergency plasma reserves remain, sufficient for limited maneuvering only." "Enough to stabilize orbit." "Affirmative. However, manual activation required. Engineering section access restricted due to radiation exposure from failed containment." Corrigan's jaw tightened. "Radiation levels? Lethal to human physiology within 30 minutes of exposure. What about alien physiology?" "Calculating." A pause. "Dependent on species. Current hostile entity shows cybernetic integration. Augmented systems may provide limited protection. Estimated survival time, 45 minutes. He turned to Tyven. Can your augments handle it? 45 minutes is optimistic. She checked her internal readings. Maybe an hour if I push them, but I'm not going down there without a damn good reason. Reason is we both survive. You survive, she corrected. I take the radiation damage. I'll go with you. You just heard Iris, you'd be dead in 30 minutes. His expression hardened. Then I'll work fast. She studied him, military logic, risk assessment. He meant it. He'd actually go down there knowing it would kill him. Idiot or honorable. Hard to tell the difference sometimes. Fine, she said, but if your AI tries to kill me while we're down there, I'm using you as a shield. Fair enough. They moved through the corridors, Iris tracking their progress with cameras that swiveled to follow. Tyven felt each lens lock onto her like crosshairs. Her augments painted targeting vectors, showing her exactly where the ship's defensive systems could hit her from. Everywhere. She kept close to Corrigan. Iris wouldn't risk him. Why did they freeze you? She asked as they descended toward engineering. Need to know. I think I need to know at this point. He was quiet for 3 seconds. I was part of a deep space reconnaissance program. Classified. We'd jump ahead, scout systems, then go into cryo while the rest of humanity caught up. Leapfrog exploration. And they never caught up. Plague hit 6 months after we went under. His voice stayed neutral, but something flickered in his expression. By the time the automated systems should have woken us, there was no one left to send the signal. How do you know that? I don't, but Iris seems to, and she would have woken me if there was a reason. He paused at an access hatch, which means I'm the last one, the only officer from the old human military still alive. Must be lonely. Ask me in a few hours, still processing. The engineering deck was worse than Iris had indicated. Warning lights pulsed along the corridor, and Tyven's augments screamed proximity alerts. Radiation levels spiked the moment they opened the hatch. Her systems activated countermeasures immediately. Shielding, filtration, emergency protocols. She'd bought military-grade augments years ago. Now she was grateful. 2 minutes, Corrigan said, checking his wrist display. That's all I've got before exposure becomes critical. Then stay here. The controls require biometric confirmation. My biometric confirmation. Of course they did. They entered engineering. The antimatter containment unit dominated the space, a massive sphere suspended in the center of the deck, dark and cold. Warning labels covered every surface. Radiation trefoils. Hazard markers. 3-century-old safety protocols that someone had ignored. The control console was adjacent. Corrigan moved to it, his hands already pulling up systems. Iris, what's the activation sequence? Manual override required. Plasma reserves must be routed to primary engines. Recommend? Just tell me which controls. Transferring schematic to your display. Tyven watched him work. Efficient. No wasted movement. Military training that hadn't degraded despite 3 centuries frozen. His hands moved across the console with the kind of confidence that came from doing this before. She found herself wondering what he'd been like before the cryo, before losing everything. Focus. Radiation was climbing. Her augments were burning power, keeping her shielded. 40 minutes left, she said. Almost there. Something moved in her peripheral vision. She spun, rifle up. A maintenance drone emerged from the shadows, its optical sensors glowing red. Not red, targeting lasers. Corrigan, the drone fired. She dove left, the energy bolt scorching past her shoulder. Her return fire caught the drone's center mass, and it exploded in a shower of sparks. 2 more drones emerged. Iris, Corrigan shouted. Stand down. Negative, Captain. Hostile entity engaged in destructive action against ship systems. Defensive response authorized. Those systems are trying to kill her. Affirmative, as designed. Tyven fired twice more. Both drones dropped, but more were coming. She could hear them in the walls, activating, converging. How long? She demanded. 30 seconds. A drone dropped from an overhead vent. She shot it before it could target Corrigan. Another came from behind. She kicked it aside, fired, kept moving. Her augments were screaming now. Radiation levels critical, shield integrity at 60%. 20 seconds. 3 drones at once. She couldn't hit them all. One got through, energy bolt burning across her side. Pain flared, but she pushed through it, took the drone down, turned to find 2 more already targeting. Corrigan grabbed a heavy tool from the deck and swung it like a club, smashing one drone before it could fire. The other she shot. Done. He slammed a final control. Engines active, Iris, stabilize orbit. Compliance, engaging thrusters. The ship shuddered. Artificial gravity kicked in suddenly, and Tyven nearly fell. Corrigan caught her arm, steadying her. His hand was warm through her sleeve. They stood there for 2 seconds, breathing hard, surrounded by smoking drones. "Medical bay," he said. "Now, I'm fine. You're bleeding, and you just took a lethal radiation dose." "Not lethal yet." "Tyven." His use of her name surprised her. "Medical bay." She didn't have energy to argue. The medical bay was 3 decks up. By the time they reached it, her augments were failing. Shields down to 40%. Toxin filters clogged. Her side burned where the energy bolt had grazed her. Corrigan guided her to a diagnostic bed, his hands efficient as he activated the systems. Iris, full scan. Treat radiation exposure and that burn. Scanning. Radiation exposure severe. Recommend immediate cellular repair therapy. However, alien physiology may reject human medical protocols. Do it anyway. The diagnostic bed came alive, scanners moving over her body. Her horns made some of the readings difficult, but the system adapted. A needle extended from the headrest. "Injecting countermeasures," Iris said. The pain eased. Not gone, but manageable. Her augments stopped screaming warnings. "You saved my life down there," Corrigan said quietly. She met his eyes. "You came down with me, knowing it could kill you. Seemed like the thing to do. That's not how military minds work. You don't throw away your life on someone trying to kill you." His mouth curved slightly. "Maybe I'm hoping you'll change your mind about that contract. Don't count on it." But even as she said it, she wasn't sure she meant it. The diagnostic bed chimed. "Treatment complete. Cellular damage repaired to 78%. Full recovery requires 48 hours. Patient should rest." "We've got 13 hours before we need to figure out the next problem," Corrigan said. "Get some sleep." "What about you?" "Someone needs to keep watch. Make sure Iris doesn't decide you're more threat than asset." She wanted to argue, but exhaustion pulled at her, and the radiation treatment had sapped what little energy remained. "Wake me in 6 hours," she said. "Deal." She closed her eyes. Tyven woke to the sound of Corrigan's voice. "Iris, why do they want me dead?" "Clarification required. Someone paid to have me assassinated. Someone who knew where this ship was, knew I was in cryo, and hired an alien bounty hunter to eliminate me." "Why?" Silence. Then, "Accessing classified files. Command authorization required." "Authorization Corrigan Omega 773. "Accessing." A longer pause. "Captain, your security clearance contains information regarding Project Genesis." This project involved genetic sequencing of all deep space personnel for potential colonization purposes. Your genetic profile includes unique markers valuable for. Valuable how? Your genetic sequence contains activation keys for automated military installations across colonized space. Installations designed to remain dormant until properly authorized personnel could reactivate them. Tyven's eyes opened. She stayed still, listening. "You're saying my DNA is a key?" "Affirmative. Your genetic markers can unlock and command approximately 200 dormant military facilities, including weapons platforms, automated defense grids, and classified research installations. And someone wants those weapons. Probability 94%. Corrigan was quiet for a long moment. "The contractor didn't want me dead. They wanted me awake." Understanding crystallized in Tyven's mind. She sat up. "They wanted you awake and under their control." He turned, saw her. You were listening. Your AI isn't exactly quiet. She stood, testing her legs. Steady. The treatment had worked. They knew opening that cryopod would activate your AI. They knew Iris would lock down the ship and trap whoever opened it. You were supposed to wake up. I was supposed to die. And then they'd show up with a crew that could override Iris and take control of you. But you didn't die. Professional competence is inconvenient that way. His mouth curved, almost a smile. So what happens now? Now we figure out who hired me and why they want your genetic key. Thought you still had a contract to kill me. She met his eyes. Contracts void. I was hired under false pretenses. No one tells me I'm walking into a trap without getting my rifle aimed at them instead. So we're partners. Temporary alliance. Don't get used to it. But something in his expression suggested he already was. They spent the next hour searching the ship's systems. Iris provided what data she had, but the contractor had been careful. The payment came through shell corporations, the communication encrypted beyond even military-grade decryption. Whoever they are, they have resources, Corrigan said, scrolling through financial transactions. And they knew exactly where this ship would be. Inside information, Tyven said. Someone in the salvage corps or deep space tracking. Or someone in the old human military. His voice went flat. Someone who had access to classified cryoship locations before the plague hit. You think another human is behind this. 90% of humanity died, but 10% survived. That's still millions of people scattered across the galaxy. He met her eyes. Some of them might remember Project Genesis, might want those weapons for themselves. For what purpose? To rebuild, to protect what's left, or to conquer what remains. He pulled up a star map. These facilities were designed to protect human colonies, automated defense grids that could hold off any threat. In the wrong hands, they're apocalypse weapons. Exactly. Her augments pinged. Proximity alert. She checked her scanner. We've got company. 4 ships dropping out of FTL, military configuration. Weapons hot. Iris, Corrigan said. What are we looking at? 4 vessels, mixed species crews. Configuration suggests mercenary origin. They are hailing. Don't answer yet. Corrigan pulled up the weapons console. What's our status? Weapons at 40%. Shields at 30% due to failed generators. Engines at 53%. We cannot outrun or outfight 4 ships, Captain. Then we negotiate. Bad idea, Tyven said. Those are the people who hired me. They're not here to talk. Then what do you suggest? We run. Iris just said. I know what she said, but I've seen those ship configurations before. Light armor, heavy offense. They're expecting a derelict with no defensive capability. They're not expecting a fight. Understanding crossed his face. We hit them first. Hard and fast. Then we run while they're recovering. His hands moved to weapons control. Iris, target their engines. I want them crippled, not destroyed. Affirmative, Captain. However, engaging 4 ships simultaneously exceeds our tactical advantage. That's why we're not fighting fair. He looked at Tyven. How good are you at flying this thing? I'm a bounty hunter, not a pilot. Close enough. Get to helm control. When I give the word, maximum thrust directly toward the gas giant. That's insane. They won't expect it. And the gravity well will slingshot us out faster than our engines alone. His eyes held hers. Trust me. She should say no, should refuse, should remind him about the contract, about the fact that they'd met less than 12 hours ago. Instead, she said, don't make me regret it. She ran for the helm. The chair was designed for human proportions, but she made it work. Her hands found the controls, augments interfacing with the system. Old human military interface. Clunky, but functional. Ready, she said. Iris, open channel to the incoming ships. Channel open. This is Captain Jace Corrigan of the ISS Relentless. You are in violation of military space. Stand down or be fired upon. A voice answered, cold and amused. Captain Corrigan, So good to finally meet you. We represent interested parties who wish to discuss your unique assets. Surrender peacefully and will ensure your safety. Negative. Leave immediately or face consequences. Captain, you're outnumbered, outgunned, and on a failing ship. Be reasonable. I'm military. Reasonable isn't in the manual. He cut the channel. Tyven, on my mark. Standing by. Iris, fire all weapons. Full spread. The Relentless shuddered as ancient weapons systems came online. Energy weapons, kinetic projectiles, electromagnetic pulses. The barrage hit all 4 ships simultaneously, targeting their engines with surgical precision. Now, Corrigan shouted. Tyven slammed the throttle forward. The ship leaped toward the gas giant, acceleration crushing her back into the seat. The gravity well grabbed them, pulling them faster, faster. Enemy fire chased them. Shields flared red. Hull plating screamed. Almost there, she said through gritted teeth. The planet loomed huge in the viewport, bands of toxic atmosphere swirling. They skimmed the outer edge, close enough that heat shields activated, and then gravity did what physics demanded. It flung them out. The Relentless shot away from the planet like a stone from a sling, velocity, climbing to speeds their engines could never achieve alone. The enemy ships tried to follow, but their damaged engines couldn't compensate. They fell behind. Iris, Corrigan said, calculate FTL jump coordinates. Somewhere they can't track us. Calculating, jump possible in 3 minutes. Tyven let herself breathe. Her hands were shaking. Adrenaline crash. Corrigan appeared at her shoulder. You all right? That was insane. But it worked. This time. His hand rested on the back of her chair, not touching her, just present. You're a hell of a pilot. Don't get used to it. Soon as we're somewhere safe, I'm gone. About that. His voice went serious. You helped me, saved my life, fought beside me, but you're still alien and Iris still considers you hostile. The moment you try to leave this ship, she'll kill me. I know. She turned in the chair, found him closer than expected. Close enough to see the exhaustion in his eyes, the 300-year weight he was carrying. So what's your plan, Corrigan? Keep me prisoner? No, I'm going to change Iris's parameters. Designate you as crew, not threat. You can do that. I'm her captain. She has to obey me, eventually. His mouth curved slightly. Might take some convincing. And after that? After that, you're free to go. Complete your contract or don't. Your choice. She should want to leave. Should want off this ship and away from this man and the impossible situation he represented. But something made her ask, what will you do? Find out who's hunting me. Stop them before they can use those weapons. His expression hardened. I'm the last human officer alive. That means it's my responsibility to protect what's left of my species, even if they don't know I exist. Alone seems like it. Stupid, honorable, both. You need someone who knows the current galaxy, she heard herself say. Someone who can navigate the political landscape, knows the major players, can tell you who to trust. That would be useful. And you need someone who can fly this antique when you're doing something suicidally heroic. His eyes held hers. Also useful. I'm expensive. I'm sitting on a military ship with 3 centuries of back pay. I think I can afford you. This isn't about the money. The words surprised her as much as him. No, he said quietly. I don't think it is. They stood there in the cockpit, the starfield spinning outside, artificial gravity holding them steady while everything else was chaos. Iris, Corrigan said, not looking away from Tyven. Record new crew designation. Tyven is hereby designated as first officer of the ISS Relentless. All hostile protocols regarding her are suspended. Captain, this violates. That's an order, Iris. Silence. Then, compliance, crew designation updated. Welcome aboard, first officer. Tyven's breath caught. First officer? Figured if I'm doing this, might as well do it right. His hand found hers. Warm, real. Unless you'd rather not. She should say no. Should walk away. Should remember that she'd met him less than 14 hours ago, that he was human and she was not, that this made no tactical sense whatsoever. Instead, she laced her fingers through his. "Someone needs to keep you from doing anything stupid." "Too late," he said. "Pretty sure recruiting the bounty hunter sent to kill me qualifies." "Definitely stupid." But she was smiling. "When do we start hunting whoever hired me?" "Iris, FTL jump calculated." "Affirmative, Captain. Ready on your command." "Then we start now." He squeezed her hand once, then moved to the command console. "Set course for the nearest inhabited system. Time to find out who wants me dead." Tyven slipped into the co-pilot's chair, first officer. The rank felt strange, but not wrong. "You know they'll come after us," she said. "Whoever hired me won't stop. They'll send more hunters, better ones." "Let them." His voice held steel beneath the exhaustion. "I've been asleep for 300 years. They've forgotten what human military looks like when it's properly motivated." "And what motivates you?" He looked at her, and something in his expression made her pulse quicken. "Turns out," he said quietly, "not dying in the next 14 hours gave me a reason to figure that out." The ship jumped. Stars blurred. The gas giant fell away behind them, and the enemy ships with it. Iris's voice filled the cockpit. "Jump successful. Arrival at destination in 43 hours." 43 hours, Tyven said. "What do we do until then?" Corrigan leaned back in his chair, the first real relaxation she'd seen from him. "I don't know about you, but I just woke up from a 300-year nap and immediately had to fight for my life. I could use about 12 hours of sleep that doesn't involve someone trying to kill me." "You're assuming Iris won't try again." "Iris, any plans to kill my first officer?" "Negative, Captain. Current designations hold. However, I reserve the right to reconsider should she prove hazardous to ship or crew." "See," Corrigan said, "perfectly safe. Your AI is terrifying. She grows on you." He stood, stretched. "There are crew quarters 3 decks up. Real beds. Actual food in the galley, if the preservation system's held. Want to see what 300-year-old military rations taste like?" "That sounds horrific." "It is, but it's better than starving." She followed him through the ship. It felt different now. Less like a derelict, more like something that could be home. Iris cameras tracked them, but without the hostile intent from before. The galley was small but functional. Corrigan pulled sealed packages from storage, checking dates. "These expired in 2387. Think they're still good?" "Only one way to find out." They ate 3-century-old protein bars that tasted like cardboard and drank water that had been recycled through the ship systems for longer than most civilizations had existed. It should have been miserable. Instead, Tyven found herself laughing at Corrigan's expression when he bit into something that claimed to be chocolate. "This is a war crime," he said. "Your species committed it against itself." "Fair point." After, they stood in the corridor outside the crew quarters. 2 doors, 2 separate rooms. "Get some rest," Corrigan said. "We'll figure out our next move when we reach inhabited space." "Corrigan," she caught his arm, "thank you for not killing me when you had the chance." "Same to you." His hand covered hers, warm. His thumb brushed over her knuckles, and she became suddenly aware of how close they were standing. Of the way his eyes tracked down to her mouth, then back up. Of how much she wanted him to close that last bit of distance. But he didn't. Instead, he stepped back, releasing her hand. "Good night, Tyven." "Good night." She went to her quarters. The bed was military standard, meant for humans, but she made it work. Her horns caught on the pillow and she adjusted. Sleep should have come easily. She was exhausted. Instead, she stared at the ceiling, thinking about a human who'd woken up to find his entire world gone, who'd chosen to help her instead of letting her die, who'd made her first officer on a ship that had been trying to kill her hours before. Stupid, honorable, dangerous. She was in so much trouble, Tyven woke to alarms. She rolled out of bed, grabbed her rifle, hit the corridor already moving. Corrigan emerged from his quarters at the same moment, weapon drawn. "Iris, report. Proximity alert. 2 ships on intercept course." Configuration matches vessels from previous engagement. Estimated arrival in 10 minutes. They tracked us. Corrigan's voice was flat. How? Unknown, Captain. Our jump should have been untraceable. Tyven's mind raced. Unless they put a tracker on your ship, or mine. Your ship's still maglocked to the hull. Then it's mine. They knew I'd be docking. Planted something in the boarding tube or on the hull. She cursed in her native language. We need to jettison it. That gives away your ship. Better than dying. They ran for the airlock. Iris opened it on Corrigan's command, and Tyven climbed into the boarding tube. Her ship was exactly as she'd left it, compact, heavily modified, worth more than most people saw in a lifetime. I'm sorry, Corrigan said from the airlock. She found the tracker welded to her hull, military grade, impossible to disable without specialized equipment. Not your fault. She pulled herself back through. Iris, can you jettison the docking clamps? Affirmative. However, the enemy ships will recover it. Let them. She sealed the airlock. We don't need them tracking us anymore. The clamps released. Her ship drifted away, and 8 minutes later, the enemy vessels appeared on sensors. They're hailing, Iris reported. Ignore them, Corrigan said. Prepare for. Captain, they have transmitted your genetic key signature to all active military networks. Every dormant installation in this sector is now attempting to authenticate your identity. Horror crossed his face. How? They must have obtained a sample. Blood, hair, skin cells. Anything left on surfaces you touched. The cryopod. Probability 96%. Tyven's scanner showed new contacts appearing. Automated defense platforms, weapons satellites, military installations that had been dark for 3 centuries suddenly lighting up, responding to the genetic key broadcast. Responding to Corrigan. They're not just tracking us, she said. They're using you as bait. Every military system in range is trying to authenticate. And once they do, they'll activate under my command. He pulled up the tactical display, giving whoever's broadcasting my key control of every weapon in this sector. Unless you take control first. His eyes met hers. You want me to activate ancient human weapons. I want you to survive. If those systems come online and someone else has command authority, they'll kill us anyway. He moved to the command console. Iris, can I override the false authentication? Affirmative. However, doing so will alert all military installations to your actual location, making us a bigger target. Correct. Corrigan's hands moved across the controls. Do it anyway. I'm not letting them use human weapons to start a war. Compliance. Broadcasting command authority override. Genetic authentication required. A needle extended from the console. Corrigan pressed his thumb against it. Blood weld was absorbed into the scanner. Every military installation in range responded. 47 platforms, 62 automated defense grids, 12 classified research facilities. All of them recognized him as their commanding officer. Command authenticated, Iris said. You have full control, Captain. The enemy ships were closing. 2 minutes out. Iris, order all platforms to stand down. Lock them under my authority. No one else gets access. Affirmative. However, Captain, the enemy ships are preparing to fire. I see them. He pulled up weapons control. Tyven ever commanded a defense network? No. Learn fast. I'm giving you access to Grid 7. Keep them off us while I deal with the rest of this mess. Her augments interfaced with the system. Suddenly, she had control of 30 automated weapons platforms, each with targeting systems that made her rifle look like a child's toy. The enemy ships fired. She fired back. Space lit up with energy weapons. The enemy ships had shields, but her platforms had numbers. She coordinated fire, overwhelming their defenses, targeting engines and weapons. One ship exploded. The other tried to run. Let them go, Corrigan said. They'll just come back. No, they won't. His voice was cold. Iris, broadcast message to all vessels in range. Full military authority. Channel open. This is Captain Jace Corrigan, commanding officer of all human military installations in this sector. Effective immediately, any attempt to access, control, or weaponize these systems without my direct authorization will be met with lethal force. Any vessel approaching these installations will be destroyed without warning. This is your only warning. The remaining enemy ship altered course, jumped to FTL. Gone. Tyven let herself breathe. Think they got the message? They will. He pulled up the installation map. Iris, full status report on all facilities. 47 weapon platforms operational. 62 defense grids at various functionality levels. 12 research facilities. She paused. Captain, Research Facility Delta 7 is reporting unusual activity. Define unusual. Life signs detected. Human life signs. Silence in the cockpit. That's impossible, Corrigan said quietly. Everyone died. The plague. Data suggests survivors. Small population, isolated from main colonies. Iris displayed the facility location. Facility was designed for long-term habitation. Biodome, self-sufficient. How many? Approximately 200 individuals. Corrigan stared at the display. 200 humans, alive, hidden in a research facility while the rest of the galaxy thought humanity was extinct. Set course, he said. Maximum speed. Captain, this could be a trap. I know, but if there's a chance. His voice cracked slightly. Iris, set course. Compliance. Arrival in 4 hours. Corrigan sat down heavily. Tyven moved to his side, not sure what to say. What do you say to someone who just found out his species might not be as gone as he thought? Hey, she said quietly, we don't know what we're walking into. I know, he looked at her. But if there are humans alive in there, I have to try, even if it's a trap. Then we go in prepared, full tactical. Iris, what defenses does that facility have? Standard military configuration, automated turrets, biolocks, requires command authority to access. Which Corrigan has. Correct. Tyven checked her rifle. 4 hours. We should rest, eat something that isn't 300 years old. Then we plan how to approach this without getting killed. You don't have to come with me. Yes, I do. You made me first officer. That means when you do something suicidally heroic, I'm obligated to keep you alive. She met his eyes. Besides, someone needs to watch your back. His hand found hers, squeezed once. Thank you. Don't thank me yet. We haven't survived the next 4 hours. They spent those hours planning. Iris provided facility schematics. Tyven mapped entry points and fallback positions. Corrigan reviewed his command authority protocols. And between the planning, in quiet moments, they talked. About small things. Corrigan's life before the cryo. A sister he'd had. Parents he'd never see again. The literature degree he'd wanted but never finished. Tyven told him about growing up in the mercenary guilds, learning to hunt, the first time she'd killed someone, and how it had felt both easier and harder than expected. They talked about the galaxy as it was now, the species that had risen after humanity fell, the political landscape, the wars, the alliances, the uneasy peace. And they didn't talk about the fact that she'd been hired to kill him, or that he'd woken up to find everything gone, or that they'd known each other for barely a day, but something was building between them that felt like it had been waiting centuries. When the facility appeared on sensors, they were ready. Iris, scan for life signs, Corrigan ordered. 217 human biosignatures detected, all within expected parameters. Weapons. Facility defenses are active but not targeting us. Command authority recognized. Corrigan took a breath. Request docking clearance. Transmitting request. A pause. Clearance granted. Docking bay 3 open. The Relentless slid into the facility's bay. The doors closed behind them. Atmosphere pressurized. Green light. Corrigan and Tyven moved to the airlock, weapons ready. The inner door opened. 20 humans stood in the bay, armed, wary, wearing clothes that looked handmade, functional, nothing like the military uniforms in Corrigan's era. One stepped forward. Female, middle-aged, with gray streaking her dark hair. Her eyes locked on Corrigan and something shifted in her expression. "You're military," she said. "Old military. Pre-plague. Captain Jace Corrigan, ISS Relentless. We didn't think any of you survived. Cryo, long-term reconnaissance mission." He lowered his weapon slightly. "We picked up your life signs. Didn't know anyone was still alive out here. We've been hiding for 300 years. Her gaze shifted to Tyven, and wariness crept in. "Who's she?" "My first officer. She's with me. She's alien." "Yes. And she saved my life multiple times in the last day. She's crew." The woman studied them both, calculating. Finally, she holstered her weapon. "I'm Alina Reeves. We run this facility, all 200 of us. Descendants of the research staff who survived the plague by sealing themselves in." "How?" "Luck. Paranoia. We had a biodome that could self-sustain. When the plague hit, the director sealed the facility. We've been here ever since." "Does anyone else know you exist?" "No, and we'd prefer to keep it that way." Her eyes hardened. "So why are you here, Captain? And why did you activate every military installation in the sector?" "Someone's trying to access the command network. They want to use human weapons. I stopped them." "For now, but you just announced to the galaxy that you exist, that we exist." Anger bled into her voice. "We've stayed hidden for 3 centuries. Now you've painted a target on everyone." "I'm sorry, I didn't know." "No, you didn't." She turned to her people. "Council meeting. Now, Captain, you're coming with us. Your officer can wait with the ship." "No," Corrigan said. "She's part of this conversation." Alina's jaw tightened, but she nodded. "Fine, follow me." They moved through the facility. It was a city in miniature, corridors converted to housing, common areas, hydroponic gardens, fabrication labs. 200 people living in the bones of a military research station. Children playing in a corridor. A couple cooking together in a communal kitchen. Normalcy carved out of isolation. The council chamber was a converted briefing room. 5 people waited, 3 men, 2 women, all showing the strain of leadership in a dying species. Alina took the center seat. "This is Captain Corrigan and his first officer. They activated the military network." "Tell them why," Corrigan explained. "The cryowake, the AI, the attack, the genetic key, everything that had led them here." When he finished, silence. One of the men spoke. "You brought war to our doorstep. I stopped someone from weaponizing your species' legacy. If I hadn't taken command of those installations, someone else would have. And now they know you exist, know we exist." "Yes. Then we're dead. It's just a matter of time." "Not necessarily." Tyven spoke for the first time. "You've been hiding for 3 centuries, but now you have something you didn't before." "What?" "Military command, weapons systems, an actual defense." She looked at Corrigan. "And someone who knows how to use them." Alina's eyes narrowed. "You're suggesting we fight." "I'm suggesting you stop hiding. Those installations can protect you, but only if you're willing to use them." "We're not soldiers. You've survived 3 centuries through isolation. That takes a different kind of strength." Corrigan leaned forward. "I'm the last officer of the old military. My job was to protect human colonies. That hasn't changed. Let me do what I was trained to do." "Protect us," Alina laughed bitterly. "With what? That old ship, you're one man." "He's not alone," Tyven said. "You have 200 people here. Some of them must have been trained in defense, security, tactical operations. We're researchers, scientists, farmers. Then learn." Corrigan's voice went hard. "Or die, because whoever tried to take those weapons won't stop. They'll come here eventually. And when they do, you'll need more than hiding to survive." Silence. Finally, Alina said, "What do you need?" "Access to the facility's resources, personnel who can be trained. And time." "How much time?" "As much as you can give me." She looked at her council. Something passed between them. "Finally, 1 month. Prove you can defend us. Then we'll decide if we trust you." "Deal." Alina stood. "Captain Corrigan, welcome to the last human colony. Try not to get us all killed." They spent the next weeks preparing. Corrigan trained anyone willing to learn basic combat tactics. Tyven interfaced with the defense network, upgrading ancient systems with modern tech. Iris coordinated the military installations, creating an early warning grid. And slowly, the colony began to change. Not just in capability, in attitude. People stopped hiding, started preparing. Late one night, Tyven found Corrigan in the command center, staring at tactical displays. "Can't sleep?" she asked, thinking about the fact that I'm training 200 people who have never known war to fight. He turned to her. "What if I'm wrong? What if hiding was the better choice?" "You weren't wrong." "How do you know?" "Because I've spent my life hunting people who hide. And hiding only works until someone finds you. Then you're helpless." She moved to his side. "You're giving them a choice. Fight or run. That's more than they had before. Doesn't make it easier." "No, it doesn't." They stood in silence for a long moment. "Why did you stay?" Corrigan asked quietly. "You could have left after I changed Iris's parameters, gone back to your life. Because you needed help. That's not a reason." "No, it's not." She met his eyes. "The real reason is that I looked at you and saw someone who'd lost everything but kept going anyway. And I wanted to see what happened next. And I'm still watching." He moved closer, close enough that she could see the exhaustion in his face, the weight he carried, the determination that kept him functioning despite everything. "Tyven, I have no idea what happens next. I don't know if we'll survive the next attack. Don't know if this colony can hold. Don't know anything except that I'm grateful you're here." "That's a start." His hand found her face, thumb brushing over the curve of her horn. Tentative, careful. "Is this okay?" he asked. "Yes," he leaned in, slowly. Giving her time to pull away, she didn't. The kiss was gentle, searching. His mouth warm against hers, tasting like coffee and exhaustion and 3 weeks of building tension. When they broke apart, she was breathing hard. "Still watching?" he asked. "Definitely still watching." His smile was real this time. "Good." The attack came 3 days later. 6 ships, heavily armed, military configuration. They dropped out of FTL at the edge of the system and immediately began broadcasting demands. "This is Commander Malik of the United Colonial Fleet. Captain Corrigan, you are ordered to surrender command authority of all military installations immediately. Failure to comply will result in offensive action." Corrigan stood in the command center, surrounded by the colony's council. "Iris, what are we looking at?" 6 warships. Combined firepower exceeds our defensive capability by 32%. However, our automated installations provide strategic advantage. "We can win." Probability 68%. Casualties estimated at 40 to 60% of defending forces. Unacceptable. He pulled up the defense grid. "Tyven, I'm seeing it. They're positioning for siege, not assault. They want you alive. Because of the genetic key." "Exactly, which means they won't destroy the facility. They need you intact. So we hold them off until they get desperate." Alina stepped forward. "Captain, we can't sustain a siege. Our resources will hold longer than their patience. Trust me." He activated the ship-wide channel. "Commander Malik, this is Captain Corrigan. Your demands are denied. Stand down or face defensive action." "Captain, you're protecting a colony of 200 civilians. We have 6 warships and a mandate to retrieve you by any means necessary. This ends one way." "Then you've already lost." Corrigan signaled Tyven. "Light them up." Every defense platform in range activated. Targeting lasers painted all 6 ships simultaneously. "The installations you're seeing are 300 years old," Corrigan continued, his voice flat. "Military-grade weapons designed to hold off fleets 10 times your size. You have 30 seconds to jump to FTL before I demonstrate why humanity used to own this sector." Silence on the channel. 20 seconds. One ship began charging weapons. "Fire," Corrigan said. Tyven triggered the grid. Coordinated fire from 40 platforms. The ship's shields held for 3 seconds, then they didn't. The explosion lit up local space. "Anyone else?" Corrigan asked. The remaining 5 ships jumped to FTL. Gone. The command center erupted in cheers. Alina stared at the displays, then at Corrigan. "You just destroyed a military vessel." "Yes. You said we'd defend, not attack." "They fired first. We responded." His voice stayed level. "They'll be back with more ships, better tactics. We bought time, not victory." "Then what do? We prepare. Because next time it's going to be a real fight." The colony spent the next weeks preparing for war. Corrigan drilled defense teams. Tyven upgraded the installations with everything the colony's fabricators could produce. Iris coordinated patrols. And late at night, when everyone else slept, Corrigan and Tyven stood in the command center and planned how to keep 200 people alive against impossible odds. "This can't last," she said one night. "Eventually, someone will come with enough firepower to overwhelm the defenses." "I know. So what's the long-term plan?" He was quiet for a long moment. "Hide them again. Take the genetic key and run. Lead the hunters away from here." "That's suicide. It's survival for them." "What about us?" He turned to her. "There is no us in that scenario. You go back to your life. I disappear with Iris and keep running until they stop chasing." "No. Tyven." I said no. Her voice was sharp. "You don't get to play martyr after everything we've built here. These people need you. I need." She stopped. The words hung between them. "You need what?" he asked quietly. "You." The admission felt like breaking. "I need you to stop planning your death and start planning our future." He moved to her, hands finding her face, tilting her head up. "I didn't think I had a future. Woke up to find everything gone. But then you were there. And suddenly dying didn't seem like the inevitable conclusion anymore." "Then stop trying to make it one. What do you want me to do?" "Fight. Not just for them, for us. For the possibility that maybe we get to see what happens after the war." His forehead rested against hers. "I don't know how to do that." "Then learn. Because I'm not letting you die after making me fall for you." His breath caught. "Tyven, don't. I know it's fast. I know we met under impossible circumstances. I know we're probably going to die in the next attack. But I needed to say it, needed you to know. I love you too." The words came out raw, honest. "From the moment you asked why before pulling the trigger, maybe before, I don't know, but it's true." She kissed him, hard, desperate, trying to put everything she couldn't say into the contact. When they broke apart, alarms were screaming. "Iris," Corrigan said, not looking away from Tyven. "Report. 24 ships on approach, fleet configuration, multiple species. I am detecting human vessels among them." "How long?" 12 hours. He finally pulled back, moving to the tactical display. 24 ships, more than 3 times what they'd faced before. "This is it," Alina said, appearing in the command center. "They're coming to finish us." "No," Corrigan said. "They're coming to take me, which means I'm not going to be here." "What?" He pulled up a star map. "Iris, plot jump coordinates to Sector 97. Broadcast my location there." "Captain, that sector is empty space." "Exactly. They want me. They can chase me away from here." He turned to Alina. "I'm drawing them off. Once they follow, seal the facility again. Go dark. They'll think everyone evacuated." "You can't fight 24 ships alone." "I'm not fighting. I'm running, leading them away." "For how long?" "As long as it takes." Tyven grabbed his arm. "I'm coming with you." "No, not negotiable. Tyven, this is a suicide run." "Then we die together." Her grip tightened. "You don't get to do this alone." "She's right," Alina said. "If you're taking the relentless, you need crew. Take volunteers, people who can fight." Corrigan looked at her. "You'd risk your people?" "You've spent weeks training us, protecting us. Some of us would rather fight beside you than hide." She straightened. "I'll ask for volunteers, no pressure. But I think you'll be surprised." 30 people volunteered. Scientists, engineers, farmers, none of them soldiers, all of them willing to fight. Corrigan selected 5, enough to crew the relentless. enough to make a difference without depleting the colony's defenders. They launched 4 hours before the fleet arrived. Iris broadcast Corrigan's location, and the enemy ships altered course immediately. Following. "We've got all 24 on our tail," Tyven reported from weapons control. "They're not even pretending to be interested in the facility." "Good. Iris, maximum speed. Keep them chasing." "Compliance. However, Captain, our fuel reserves are limited. We cannot outrun them indefinitely." "Don't need indefinitely. Just need them far enough from the colony that they can't backtrack before running out of fuel themselves." "Calculating. Required distance, 4 light-years minimum." "Then that's where we're going." They ran. The Relentless pushed past safety limits, engines screaming, hull plating vibrating. The enemy fleet followed, close enough that weapons fire occasionally reached them but not close enough to disable. "They're hurting us," one of the volunteers said, "trying to push us toward something." Corrigan checked the star map. "Iris, what's in our current trajectory?" "Uncharted asteroid field. Dense. Navigation hazardous. They're trying to trap us." "Affirmative." Tyven pulled up tactical. "We can use that. The asteroids will break up their formation, give us cover. Or crush us. Better than letting them catch us." He met her eyes. "Do it." They dove into the asteroid field. The Relentless twisted through gaps between massive rocks, Iris calculating trajectories faster than human reflexes could follow. Behind them, the fleet spread out, trying to cover all possible exit vectors. "Now," Corrigan said, "full stop. Power down everything except life support." "Captain, they're tracking our engine's signature. We go dark, we're just another rock." The Relentless went cold, drifting among the asteroids, silent. The enemy fleet passed them. Searching, hunting. 5 hours later, they jumped to FTL, still searching. "They're gone," Tyven said. "It worked." Corrigan leaned back in his chair. "Iris, status?" "Engines functional but damaged. Fuel reserves at 18%. Life support at 70%. We have approximately 6 days of sustainable operation before critical failure." 6 days to find fuel and repair. Or to say goodbye. He looked at Tyven, at the 5 volunteers who'd come with them, at the ship that had become home. "We're not dying here," he said. "Iris, scan for the nearest inhabited system." Scanning. Detecting station designated Haven's Rest. Distance. 2 days at current speed. Classification. Neutral port. Multiple species. Refueling available. Set course. Haven's Rest was everything the colony wasn't. Crowded, diverse, chaotic. A station built from salvaged ships and abandoned platforms, held together by commerce and desperation. They docked under false IDs. Iris' military transponder stayed dark. "Stay together," Corrigan told his crew. "We're targets the moment someone recognizes what we are." They moved through the station, looking for refueling options and repair supplies. The markets were packed, aliens of every species trading, haggling, living. Tyven saw Corrigan watching it all, processing. This was his first time seeing the galaxy as it existed now, after humanity. "You okay?" she asked quietly. "It's different, louder, more. Alive." "Yeah." A hand grabbed Corrigan's arm. He spun, found a human woman standing there. Young, maybe 20. "Human? You're military," she said. "Old military, I can tell. You're human." "One of about 50 on this station. We heard rumors. About someone activating the old installations. About Captain Corrigan." Her eyes widened. "It's you. I don't know what you're talking about. Don't lie, please." She glanced around, then lowered her voice. "There are more of us, hidden. Scattered, but we're organizing, trying to rebuild, and we need you." "I can't help you. Can't or won't. Can't. There are people trying to kill me. Anyone I help becomes a target." Pain crossed her face. "So we're on our own. For now, but I'm working on that." She nodded slowly. "The refueling dock, Base 7. Ask for Dominic. Tell him Sierra sent you. He'll help." Then she disappeared into the crowd. Corrigan stood there, processing. 50 humans on this one station. which meant there were more, scattered, surviving. You're thinking about them, Tyven said. They need protection, leadership, and I'm running. You're leading hunters away from 200 people. That's protection. Is it enough? Ask me when we're not about to die. They found Dominic. Human, older, with grease under his nails and suspicion in his eyes. But when Sierra's name was mentioned, he relaxed. You need fuel and repairs. Going to cost you. Corrigan pulled up his account. Military back pay, 3 centuries of accumulated funds. Dominic whistled. That'll do it. Give me 3 hours. While the ship was serviced, they waited in a station cafe. Real food. The first fresh meal Corrigan had eaten in 300 years. What's the plan? Tyven asked. We can't run forever. No, we can't. He pushed his food around. But we can't fight them either, not directly. So what? We find out who's organizing these attacks, cut off the head. And if the head is someone powerful, someone with resources we can't match, then we get creative. One of the volunteers approached. Captain, there's someone here asking about you, not friendly. Corrigan was on his feet immediately. Where? Docking bay. Asking Dominic questions. They moved through the station, weapons concealed but accessible. The docking bay was crowded, but one figure stood out, tall, alien, with military bearing. The same species as Tyven. That's Commander Vrax, she said quietly. Mercenary leader, very expensive, very dangerous. Friend of yours? Tried to kill me once. Long story. Vrax turned, saw them. His expression didn't change. Tyven and Captain Corrigan. How convenient. Vrax. She kept her hand near her weapon, still taking dirty contracts. Always, this one's particularly lucrative. Dead or alive, Captain, though dead is easier. You're not taking him. Wasn't planning to ask permission. He signaled. A dozen mercenaries emerged from the crowd, weapons trained. Iris, Corrigan said quietly. Emergency Protocol 7. The Relentless's external weapons activated, targeting the docking bay. Vrax's eyes widened. You wouldn't. You destroy the station. Try me. Standoff. The crowd was scattering. Station security would arrive soon. This isn't over, Vrax said. Never is. Corrigan backed toward the ship, crew following. But you're going to tell me who hired you. Right now. Or Iris opens fire and we all die. You're bluffing. 300 years in cryo. Woke up to find my species dead. Been chased across the galaxy by people trying to weaponize my DNA. You think I'm bluffing? Vrax studied him. Finally, Consortium, human remnant group. They want the military installations to rebuild. Rebuild what? Human dominance. They think your genetic key is the answer. They're wrong. Probably. But they're paying extremely well to find out. Vrax holstered his weapon. This was a professional inquiry. Next time it won't be. There won't be a next time. Bold. He turned to leave, then paused. Tyven, you've chosen poorly. He's a dead man. So are we all eventually. Vrax laughed. Fair point. They made it to the ship. Dominic had finished repairs, full fuel, new supplies. You've got trouble, he said. Noticed. Sierra said to tell you there's a colony. Hidden, humans only, they'd take you in. Where? Can't say, but they're organized, growing, maybe you should find them. Maybe I will, they launched, away from Haven's Rest, away from Vrax and his mercenaries. The Consortium, Tyven said. I've heard of them, extremists. They think humanity should reclaim what was lost. Through force. Through whatever means necessary. Corrigan pulled up files. If they're human, they might have access to old military databases. No locations I don't. Which makes them even more dangerous. Or potential allies. You can't be serious. They're human, my species. I have to at least talk to them. They just tried to kill you. They hired someone to retrieve me, not the same thing. Close enough. He looked at her. What would you do if you found out your species was trying to rebuild? Wouldn't you want to help? She was quiet. Finally, I'd want to make sure they were rebuilding the right way. Exactly. It took 2 weeks to find the Consortium. Iris traced their communications. a hidden station in neutral space. 50 ships, military organization, all human. Corrigan hailed them. "This is Captain Jace Corrigan, requesting diplomatic meeting." Silence. Then, "Captain Corrigan, we've been looking for you." "I'm aware. Call off your hunters and let's talk." "Like civilized humans, an interesting proposition." "Do I have your word? Safe conduct." "You have my curiosity. Docking clearance granted. Bay 3. They docked, armed, ready. The reception committee was impressive. 20 soldiers, real soldiers, human, trained, equipped, and at their center a woman, tall, commanding, gray hair, eyes that had seen war. "Captain Corrigan, I'm Admiral Chen. Welcome to the consortium." "Admiral, that rank was retired after the plague. We brought it back. Someone has to lead humanity's remnants." "And you chose yourself." Her expression hardened. "I earned it, fighting to keep humans alive while the galaxy moved on without us. By hiring mercenaries to hunt me. By trying to retrieve an asset that belongs to humanity. Your genetic key could unlock installations that would protect every human colony in existence. Or start a war that would finish what the plague started. That's a matter of perspective." Tyven stepped forward. "Admiral, with respect, you're trying to weaponize something you don't understand. And you are. Someone keeping him alive. Alien." Chen's voice went cold. "Captain, you bring an alien to a human sanctuary. After everything our species has suffered?" "After everything you've suffered," Corrigan corrected. "I was frozen, missed the plague, missed the aftermath. Woke up to find her saving my life. So yes, I brought her. Because she's crew. That's not how we do things here. Then maybe I'm in the wrong place." Tension cracked through the bay. Soldiers shifted. Weapons stayed holstered but ready. "Captain," Chen said carefully, "we're not enemies. We want the same thing, human survival." "Do we? Because from where I'm standing, you want human dominance. There's a difference. The galaxy left us to die. And yet we're still here, hidden, scattered, but surviving. Maybe that's enough." "It's not enough for me." "Then we disagree." He turned to leave. Chen's soldiers moved to block the exit. "I can't let you leave, Captain, not with that key. You're holding me prisoner. I'm protecting humanity's future." Corrigan's hand moved to his weapon. Tyven's rifle came up. "Bad idea, Admiral. You're outnumbered." "Iris," Corrigan said quietly. "Protocol 9. Compliance, Captain." Every system on the consortium station died. Lights, gravity, life support. Emergency lighting kicked in. Red, dim. "What did you do?" Chen demanded. "Military AI with 300 years of security clearance. She just locked down your station." Corrigan's voice stayed level. "Now here's what's going to happen. You're going to let us leave. You're going to call off your hunters. And you're going to find another way to protect humanity that doesn't involve kidnapping and coercion. And if I refuse, then you sit in the dark until your life support fails. Your choice." Chen stared at him, calculating. Finally, she stepped aside. "You're making a mistake, Captain. Probably, but it's my mistake to make." They left, back to the relentless. Jumped to FTL before Chen could react. "That went well," Tyven said. "Could have been worse. Could have been better." He was quiet for a long moment. "She's not wrong. My species does need protection. Organization, leadership. Just not her brand of it. No, not hers. So what now? Now we find the other colonies, the hidden ones, the ones trying to survive without turning into what Chen wants." He pulled up the star map. "We protect them. Build something better. That's a tall order for 2 people and 5 volunteers. Then we find more people, build a crew, an organization." He met her eyes. "You with me?" "Always." Months passed. They found other colonies. Small groups, isolated communities. Each one struggling. Each one grateful for protection. Corrigan activated defense grids, shared resources, connected survivors. And slowly, something new emerged. Not the old human military, not the consortium's vision, something between. Late one night, on the relentless, Tyven found Corrigan in their quarters. "Can't sleep," she asked. thinking about names. Names for what we're building: colony protection network, resource sharing, mutual defense. He smiled slightly. Needs a name. How about hope? Too optimistic. Relentless, too aggressive. Then you pick. He was quiet. Finally, Phoenix, rising from the ashes. I like it. She moved to him. He pulled her close and she settled against his chest, listening to his heartbeat. We did it, she said. Survived. So far. That's all we get, so far. Every day. Is it enough? Ask me tomorrow. He kissed her, slow, deep, tasting like survival and exhaustion and the promise of maybe. I love you, he said against her mouth. I know, she smiled. You tell me every day. Going to keep doing it, just in case you forget. I won't. But she kissed him again anyway, because some things deserved repeating. Outside, the stars spun. The galaxy moved. Threats remained. But for now, they had this. Each other. A ship. A purpose. And tomorrow would bring whatever it brought. They'd face it together. 3 years later. The Phoenix Network protected 47 colonies. 800,000 humans. Scattered but connected. Surviving but thriving. Corrigan stood in the command center of their new station, built from salvaged platforms and powered by old military installations he'd activated. Tyven worked beside him, first officer, partner, wife by human custom and her people's traditions both. Report, he said. All colonies reporting green, no threats this week, she smiled. Quiet, actually, should worry me. But doesn't. No, doesn't, because they'd built something worth protecting. Something worth fighting for, and when the next threat came, because threats always came, they'd face it. Together. Just like they had from the beginning, when she'd been hired to hunt the most dangerous human alive, and found a reason to save him instead.